Hi everyone, and welcome to this video. I'm Henry, that's Andy, you know, and this is our buddy Josh, who you might not know. If you've ever been to an event that Josh is at, you've probably heard him.
Yeah, probably.
Become quite a celebrity in this weekend. Yeah,
Oh,
no, I won't teach you about it. Guys, we're going to put together a little video about our experience of being invited to work on the launch of Horus Heresy 2nd edition. So about 6 weeks, 2 months ago, we got some phone calls asking us, if we'd like to be involved. And the first thing was, I mean, obviously, yes. Heresy was, I think, all three of our first way back in, almost. It's certainly been a really big part of the hobby for the last 5-10 years, right? So yeah, jumped at the chance with that. And we were given the choice to pick our legions. We went for White Scars.
Yeah. White Scars.
I think most of them were free to pick. What was your, we pretty much said it at the same time. Yeah. Near enough first choice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But there was a few reasons why. I mean, white armies look awesome, right? On the table, white armor, en masse it's delicious, right? You can do tons of weathering on it. You can leave it clean. Also, I think a lot of people perceive it as being quite challenging to do. But actually, hopefully you guys, we've done quite a few tutorials on different white armor recipes.
Both of us have done one, haven't we?
Yeah, it's not, hopefully it isn't seen like that as much anymore. And if anything, it's quicker than a normal color, right? Because it's just white over your initial shadow color a lot of the time, right? Certainly for army painting. Actually, that's something worth touching on. So Andy painted the Primarch, so Jagat Khan, and I painted the box up to go with it. And we painted them in isolation from each other. We had a few phone calls about it, about sort of, right, what white do we want to go for? We wanted to match them up, didn't we? And in fact, we haven't used the same paints even, which I think is something we're always trying to get across on the videos, is don't worry specific names and all the rest of it, right? Use this sort of color. If you've got it, just use that sort of color. Unless it's, say, Tamiya white, in which case buy it, because it just makes your life better, right? And things like that. But what was the thinking then behind the white we went for?
Why we went that white? I think, we always look at the Heresy color plates. That's always my first port of call. I think that's the coolest thing is in the black books is the plates, and it just gets me going every time. And we normally do like a cold white, so like a blue-gray. And we just wanted to do something a bit different. And I've been playing a lot with other stuff, and we just really want to do like a warmish white. So it's basically white shaded with brown instead of a normal gray or something like that. And like you said, we did a different recipe, but you both used a cold brown. And actually with the red as well, used quite a cold red. So like a warmer white with brown shading and a colder red with that. And that's the conversation we had, which was really nice. Really nice to collaborate in that way.
Yeah, it was. It's our first proper collab, right? Well, we painted a few army charity type stuff, but this was the first sort of for us. Sort of for us project. I say that because a lot of people, you included, and some of our other friends that have been working on this project, I don't think anyone's satisfied.
No.
Right, with what we've done. But I think you have to look at it from, we had this much time and we got it done. Right, and they all look great.
Fantastic. Really, really
right.
beautiful.
You guys in particular, obviously, you were having the Primarchs, right? So there's special characters and then there's Primarchs. Right. Now, Josh, if you're not aware, on the Golden Edge on Instagram, a few years ago we met at a class, you come on and we were chatting about what to do in the future and this, and you were like, I want to be known as the Alpha Legion guy. I want that. And here you are, so well done.
Yeah, it's worked out,
right? But how did you two feel with that pressure, I guess, on painting two iconic characters? You're 17th.
Yeah, exactly. I'm about to say, I've become a bit of a meme between my friends and
that's
our
okay.
group as well. Just painting that.
How many have you done?
7. 7. This is number 7. I can have a squad. There's 2 more, 3 more. I'll have a squad, and that'll be it. So, I mean, to answer the question, it's I found it quite scary. You want to spend time on your Primarch, unless you're me. You're meant to only have 1, right? So
seventh one should be the quickest.
Exactly,
though,
right.
Yeah, you've had 6 goes at it.
Okay, exactly. But I found it just it was a new opportunity, right, to try something new. So you're talking about how you chose your color palette. I wanted to go back because this is we're showing Heresy again, right?
Yeah, it's the opportunity, right, to not reinvent the wheel, but just second edition. It should be a bit different.
Exactly. And I found the official Alpha Espo, if you want to call it official, is kind of that blue-green shade, that transition, a really nice teal. and I want to take it back to indigo. So I've been experimenting. I remember we had loads of conversations.
I really struggled to see indigo.
Right, exactly, and like
purple and blue. I struggle with.
Right.
Yeah.
And in Legion, which is the first Alpha Legion book we see from the novels, they're described as purple, and then they kind of go through Black Library trying to changes them. They become like indigo, kind of just showing you all the different.
They end up even writing it into their background that that's a thing, right?
Right. They're always changing their colours. So it was really fun. It was really fun. It gave me an opportunity to practice all the things I've kind of done with all the other 6, and not just that, but the timeline we've had being in the Heresy community, playing the game, and just being able to put those paints in and practice, and just really show like what I've learned, what you guys have taught me, what others have taught me, and what I've been able to learn over that time. So I was really excited, as well as being a tiny bit nervous. But yeah, and for yourself, like.
Well, yeah, it was interesting, right? Because this was a really good opportunity for us to practice sort of what we preach a bit in our videos with army painting. There will always be sacrifices and compromises and all the rest of it, right? Yeah. And you know, you're a phenomenal painter, right? You're a very winning painter. This is a sort of model that should get entered in painting competitions, and you had a very short window of time in which to paint it. So what were the sort of choices how to paint it?
Well, I think, you know, we wanted it to work with the army and true metallics. So most of the Primarchs I've done, like Magnus, the Rare, Dawn, they've been non-metallic metal because it's a technique I like to do on a single figure. I wouldn't really do that for an army. It's always going to be metallics. And that just cut down loads of time immediately. So I was like, okay, got white armor, fine, could do that. True metallics, that kills a lot of time compared to a normal Primarch and stuff like that. But every Primarch is so detailed. So I think no matter what level you paint it to, whatever, it's going to be super time consuming. And I found the base coating stage horrendous because it felt so slow. Because I sprayed in grey and I start blocking in the details where the red is, the brown is, the gold, and just picking out the gold like in brown. It felt like it took forever.
There's not a lot of white armor on him, is there?
Well, it felt like 50% of my time was base coating, and then so I did it in basically 2 weeks. First week base coating, I'm like, I've only got a week left. I've only base coated it, but actually it flew from then. Once I got all the things blocked in, and he's such a busy model that just blocking stuff in solid color and then actually adding highlights was fast. And I think it was one of those models that while I was painting it under the time limit, I was quite stressed because I was like, is this going to look good at the end? But because he's so busy, when you've painted every single part of him, it actually looks great because there's so much going on. It's like, so it was horrible to do in a short time frame because it's busy, but when it was done, it looked great because there's so many things on him. So in the middle of it, I was like, but when it was done, and I hadn't looked at it for a while, I was like, that's really cool. So it was hard.
That's nice, man.
It's the quickest I've done a Primarch in. So.
Yeah, it's the quickest I've done an army in a long time. Yeah, two and a half weeks that box was, it was challenging. But we'll talk about it more in other shows we do and things like that. But for me, one of the most important parts for the army was prep. You know, right, what colours am I doing this? What is the recipe going to be for this? And then bang, bang, bang. And actually, you just stuck at it. There was no thinking because you'd done all of that. It was just get your brush on it, get to work, you know, and go. And we're going to cut into this video, I think, maybe a tutorial or two, certainly how we've done some things. And the next few months are going to have a lot of heresy stuff from us. And who knows, in the future, we might get this boy involved as well. You know, if you fancy checking out some oils, I'll pop the link in the description to this video. Josh done a wonderful PDF all about sort of last year of your sort of painting journey, learning about working with oil paints and stuff. Because your Alpha Heresy was entirely oil paints? So really, it's very exciting. If you're a paint nerd, which most of you are if you're watching this, I'll pop that link in for Josh. But thanks ever so much for your support, guys. If it wasn't for you lot supporting what we're doing, we wouldn't be getting asked to be doing this kind of thing. But we'll make sure we share it. There's going to be a heap of tutorials coming out from us. All the other legions will be covered in the next couple of weeks. And then it's Heresy 2. And I'm determined to try and drive a new aesthetic for Heresy 2. Just a few little, you know, we've had 10 years of the original. Let's tweak it here, tweak it here. You know, and see what we can do. Right, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing a collab project. It's pretty cool. We've never done it before. Well, it was great. It was good fun. And we found out today, finally, that they do look good together because we didn't have time to check if they worked. And they do, so phew.
Can't wait to see the photos.
I know, right? Yeah. You guys have probably seen more than us at this point. All right, so Take care. We'll see you soon.
Ciao.
See ya.
Hi guys, we're back again, and this time we've got our buddy Nathaniel here, Warmaster Painting, who was also involved in this project, your first GW project.
Yes,
which is cool.
100%.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Loved it.
Nathaniel, bit of a Heresy OG, right?
Yeah.
We met at the weekend that he won the sword at.
Yeah, it was the very first weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
So, very first weekend.
Yeah. So it's for having been in a long time.
Yeah.
It's a pretty exciting day,
Oh,
right?
yeah, massive,
like,
yeah.
Heresy second edition,
Yeah,
man,
100%.
and getting to be a small part
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
So we've had a chat with Andy and Josh about their challenges with painting the Primox. Myself and Nathaniel each did a box. You did Thousand Suns?
Yes, I did Thousand Suns, yeah.
Well, obviously, I did White Scars. And yeah, I guess we're going to talk about that because that was a experience.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah.
And I mean, you're a commission painter,
Yeah,
so you're
yeah.
used to deadlines.
Yeah, well,
And pressure.
A bit more loose,
Right?
sometimes, yeah. But this was a definitive.
Chill deadlines.
Yeah, you can always. Yeah, that's
Your
it.
deadline.
Yeah,
And I
that's
thought
it.
I pushed this deadline, but I need to take a leaf out of your book. Yeah. Few cheeky extra. Few cheeky extra notes.
100%, yeah, it was like it was out of necessity. Yeah.
But I guess you I watched you paint Calm
Yep.
for 2 and a bit weeks.
Yep.
I tried to be supportive and check in.
Yeah.
Not going to lie, whenever you FaceTimed me, I don't think I was looking my best.
No.
It's a bit of a 1,000-yard stare going on tonight.
It was definitely work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a couple questions
Go on in.
I'm interested. So, I was lucky that I had to paint one model, a Primarch, and I was feeling the time pressure with one model. So I was like, how can I do this in this time? And did you do 52 models?
54.
54 models.
Well, 52 infantry and 2 vehicles.
So, with the time limit, I guess my first question is, what's your reaction? One, when you got the box, to how the stuff is, and then to how am I going to get this done in time? So how did you feel at the start of the project when that massive box arrived?
Yeah, well, excitement, obviously.
Yeah.
I knew that I was one of a very select few,
Yeah.
so that was great. But then, obviously, as it sunk in, you know what I mean? You start building it, and then the pressure started mounting.
the banter got
Yeah,
increasingly less.
Yeah,
didn't it?
100%. We were like gassed to be talking to you. Oh yeah, you got it. The box. What are you doing? And then it obviously tailed off as people got busier and busier.
There was
nights got shorter.
not a lot of talk. Yeah, there'd be like messages at 3 a.m. and stuff. Yeah, you up? Yeah, of course, Sam. Of course, Sam.
Still
what do you
Heresy?
think?
Still Heresy.
100%. So but it was exactly like I said. It was really good, but very stressful. I can't gloss that over.
I've never I'm not. I mean, we've all. Andy, as you know, is a very winning painter with all his golden demons. You and me have done our demons. You know, we've got the little statues, but that's not our hobby necessarily.
No.
Right? So I haven't experienced this pressure.
No,
I don't think.
Same.
For years.
No.
And knowing it was.
Because there's a deadline.
Right.
With a customer, I can always be like, I need a bit more time, and they're
Of
thinking,
course,
it'd be
you're
a
always
better
on
job.
time for your customers, though.
Always. Yeah. The customer's always right.
That's Warmaster Painter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was the pressure as well of just, we care about Heresy.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
as much as we like 40k and AOS and all that, this is...
It's my main...
And to be a part of the second edition of that, and to know that your work's going to be judged. There's no getting away from it, right?
Especially if you're like, that's what you do, you're a painter, like YouTuber or something like that. People are like, okay, cool, they're a different element of the hobby, which is what's great about the hobby. There's lots of different elements. But when your facet's painting, eyes are going to be on it.
Yeah.
So there's that pressure as well.
It's pretty unique, wasn't it?
Yes.
It's well because we got the box in decent-ish time, more time than we often get things in, but
this is a whole box. 40
this is a lot,
Marines.
which you got to build as well, right?
I looked at the date when I got the box, and I did a little video, to release afterwards. Obviously. It was 5 weeks,
right?
So but then I had to build, but
also you had work. Right? As we got the box,
Still
and
got
like when it first come, I was like, oh, this is super cool, and it sat in its cellophane for a bit till lunch anyway. Right? Wait to load up, look through the book. Is there anything new in it? No, okay, don't worry about it. And then just didn't stress because we had other things we were doing. We were deep in the middle of other projects for work, so this had to wait.
I wasn't in the country for my.
That'll be Josh.
For my
You can
defense.
hear, in the background there. That should do. Yeah, I mean, you were Golden Demon, like So it was.
I was Adepticon.
There was a lot of excited and chill, and then it got very real very quickly. But it was great, compromising. Even as army painters and commission painters and all that, we preach it a lot, but actually having to put it into practice, again, it just gives you a little bit of better understanding, especially for us as teachers, I think. Like, it's a bit more empathy with people, and it's influenced how I want to drive the classes for painting heresy that we do in the future. I genuinely think there's a different way of going about it, which is quite exciting, and I got to put some of that into the white scars, which hopefully you guys are seeing on the thing, and a lot of that work was prep work.
Yeah. So if you had more time, what do you think was the main compromise for both of you?
It's always going to be quality. I think if the more time you have, the more layers you add, the more.
But do you think, was there a stage in particular? Like, I know, Henry, you said you wanted to do more weathering.
Yeah.
Was there something like that for you?
With 1,000 Suns, I wasn't so concerned about weathering,
right?
Because different legions have different aesthetics, and I think that's what's cool that makes them different.
Yeah.
So
what do you think? You sort of maybe any compromise in anything particular?
It was. I would say the metallic elements. Yeah.
You've done more to them.
Yeah, I'd have done more to them, it was nice having the trim.
So good.
Yeah, because I added, I regretfully added things to models later on.
I think everyone regretted that, apart from Henry's ponytail and his dread. That was all right. That wasn't too much work.
Yeah, that was great.
Based on me.
That's it.
But mostly for you, I think weathering.
It was
right?
weathering, and it also because that's my personal taste. Yeah. And at the initial part, when we first got it, I was like, I'm going to do these as like the best thing I've ever done. I'm going to show off heresy,
like that, right?
Yeah.
You just can't.
And then it was, but I think I came to terms with it myself as well as I'm painting it, going, this just isn't going to happen. I knew maybe a week before it was time to do it, I knew it wasn't going to happen. There were certain elements, there's a lot more connective material on these Mark 6 models. What would have taken 30 seconds on an old Mark 4 takes a couple of minutes at least on a Mark 6 Marine. And if it's a white scheme, I've got to take even longer because I've got to be neat and tidy. So I did enough weathering to suggest it, but certainly not to my taste.
Well, I think a running theme, like from talking to everyone, I've discovered, and I think this is a real lesson for army painting, is everyone felt in the bubble, I'm not doing this good enough, I'm worried about what people are going to think.
Yeah, 100%.
But actually when it's done and you step back, it looks fantastic. Because I finished the Khan and I was like, this is not my best work. And I haven't seen it for a couple of weeks. And I seen it in the cabinet and I'm like, do you know what, that's great. You were like happy with the white scars, but wanted them to be so much more. I came in fresh and I was like, hey, the white scars are amazing, because I hadn't seen any, because you didn't have time to take any pictures to show me.
I hadn't seen them together.
And then you're the same, I haven't seen your 1,000 Suns, and you're probably feeling like, I could do better, but everyone's like, wow, look at those 1,000 Suns, they're amazing.
I think we're our own worst critic,
absolutely.
and
absolutely.
I think that's also what drives you to be better as a painter anyway.
Sure.
So you need a little bit of that, but
the lesson is, for army painting, sometimes you're in it and you're in this bubble and it's getting drawn out. But when it's sat there on the table, it's in a cabinet like this, it looks awesome.
The table thing's a biggie, and it's something we talk about but maybe don't experience as often because we paint more than we game.
Yeah.
Right? But I'd leave the room to go and make a cup of tea. It's probably Josh again. You can hear that, guys.
That's Josh.
What was a banshee?
I'd walk out and make my 17th cup of tea or whatever of the day, feeling terrible.
Yeah.
And I'd come back in, and actually in the office was covered obviously with the project. I would come back in nearly every time and be like, oh, actually that's fine. That's pretty cool. And then go on and on. So sometimes it's literally step away for an evening.
But you've got to finish it, right? And I think all of us pushed the deadline. But when it was finished, it looks great, and I think that's the takeaway: is get your army done, and you will like it because it'll be done.
Yeah. Also work on the main colour, the main colours.
Exactly.
I did spend a lot of time on
red.
the red, and I wanted to get the red because I had Blood Angels, Word Bearers.
Yep.
Where are they? I don't know where they're going to go.
Yeah, and you were like, do I do clears? Do I do flat?
Exactly. Yeah, we had that conversation, and when I was like, what should I do? The flat red or the clear red? The clear red's been done to death. I wanted to do something a bit different. So.
But I'm very much in that camp. Like the main armour is always the priority.
Yeah.
Like that, the white armour on that has got probably twice as many steps as anything else on the model.
Yeah.
The metals is 3.
It's a major
the
part,
black is 1.
Yeah, for both your armies, you look your red stands out. That's what makes it. Your
Yeah,
tone
you got
of red,
thousands of us.
and then
Yeah.
yours, the white,
Yeah.
the clean white, and so both of you nailed that. So that's really cool.
Oh, thanks for
Get your Legion colour spot on, and then your grand. I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. But yeah, amazing projects. Incredibly grateful that we got to do it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And now, let's do more. Are you going to do an actual army with it?
I might. Yeah,
build it out a little bit more?
I
Just
might,
a little bit.
Take your time on the rest.
But I
We'll make sure he does,
working
and we'll
out.
come and have a game here later in the year and get it on video. But yeah, great to have you involved, dude.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
and hopefully
great.
lots more in the future.
Yeah,
Nice one, my
thanks.
man.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks a
coming.
lot.
Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of our experience with Horus Heresy 2nd edition.
Ciao.